Hello everyone, welcome to RGBlink YouTube channel. This is Luke. Great news, I just got my hands on these two brand new units from RGBlink mini series, the Minimix SDI and Mini Edge SDI. These two units were just released at RGBlink winter product launch events back to end of December last year, and they will be debuted at ISE 2025. So between now and ISE, we're gonna post some videos to talk about and to share with you the new capacity and improvements of Minimix SDI and the Mini Edge SDI performance in terms of videos and audios. Okay, so you can have more general ideas and more informations of these two units before you come to ISE at our booth. Okay, so these videos, what we're gonna talk about is Minimix SDI's videos performance and its capacities. So without further ado, let's go into the main course of these videos. Let's move on to our Minimix SDI right here. One of the major upgrades from Minimix to Minimix SDI is the input capacities. Now Minimix SDI supports 4 3G SDI input, which you can switch from HDMI 2.0 to SDI inputs for input channel 1 to 4, and for input channel 5, now it supports NDI and UVC camera and media player. So for input 5, you actually got 3 choices from, okay? And let's see how we can do all these input sources switchings in Minimix SDI. Okay, so go to setting, go to inputs, and you will see a list of input 1, channel 1 to input channel 5. Okay, so for input 1 to 5, you can choose different sources as it supports. Okay, for 1 to 4, you got choices from SDI to HDMI, and for input 5, you have NDI, UVC camera, and media player. Okay, so let's see how well it does Minimix when Minimix SDI is switching from SDI signals to HDMI signals. Okay. Let's put up our multi-view from Minimix SDI, so you can see the live switchings when we do the configuration. Okay. Let's try with input 1 and 2. Switch it from SDI and HDMI to SDI first. Now you're seeing on the multi-field input channel 1 is HDMI signals. Let's do it from choose SDI now. Okay, you can see the sources has been changed as well as the signal at the PST. The source immediately changed from HDMI to SDI without any blank delayed, so it's seamless switching. Let's do it for input 2 also from HDMI to SDI. Okay, you can see it's like a direct cut from HDMI to SDI. Okay, let's see. Let's try switch from SDI back to HDMI. Okay, works the same perfectly without any delay, blank, seamless switchings between SDI and HDMI. So with this performance, video from video source switchings, which means you can actually connect up to 8 signals sources for HDMI and for SDI, and you just use the Minimix to do switchings. So technically, you can use up to 8 signals in lifetime without any delayed, any blank switching from them. Okay, so that's how the input 1 to 4 works when you switching from you got choices from SDI to HDMI. Okay, now let's do input 5, which is a little bit more interesting and more choices you can have. Okay, so you see we have the option of NDI UVC camera and the media player. Okay, the media player works exactly the same as the Minimix. So the NDI and the UVC function is we just added to newly implement to Minimix SDI. Let's see how it works. Okay, you got a choice. Let's try the NDI sources first. Okay. Okay, you choose the input 5 as NDI. It will ask you to, if you want to go to the NDI interfaces. Okay, so at this interfaces, what you're gonna do is you press the search NDI function. Okay, it's gonna do a quick search of all the available sources, available NDI sources within the network, and you're gonna show a list right here. Okay, so I have one more NDI signals connected, and you can see we have 8 available slots for your choices to add the sources to it. So we can let's add one more here. Okay. So which means when you add the NDI sources to these 8 slots, which means next time you want to use any one of them, you don't have to do a search. Okay, Minimix SDI kind of keep a record of what's already been discovered, and you can quickly switching and use that sources without doing the search again. Okay, which is I like it. It's really user friendly. Okay, so you can choose this one. Okay, make it live, and you can see on our multi-view, we actually got the NDI sources, okay, right here, and we go back to it. You don't have to do the searches, and you can use again. With all the slots, which means you can store up to 8 NDI sources, and you can do search. You can do switching between any of them. Okay, any 2 of them. And, let's go back to it. Okay. So you can see I have the NDI source as 5. It's my Tower Minis, and so that's the NDI sources. Okay. Let's go back to the input settings. Okay, we have seen the NDI. Then let's check out our UVC cameras. Okay, so you can connect one UVC camera to the UVC input port of the Minimix. Okay, input 1, UVC port 1. And let's switch to select this one. Okay, it's gonna take a few seconds switching, like 1-2 seconds switching from NDI to UVC cameras. Now you can see on my multi-view right here. Now it's switched to the live views from my UVC cameras. Okay, let's select input 5 right here. Okay, right here. Okay, it's actually my workstations doing this recordings. So that's live view from my UVC cameras. Okay. So that's the NDI inputs and the UVC inputs. For the media, I'm not going to the details. It works exactly same as Minimix. So you can play Full HD media files on Minimix as your sources. Okay. So that's input size. The 5 channels you can choose, you can use them carefully, and it actually add up to 11 different input sources that you can use this. So for HDMI, for SDI signal, and for input 5 you got 3 more, UVC, NDI, and media player. So this add up to 11 different video sources you can use up to the full capacity of Minimix's video inputs. Okay? And actually, I got one more surprise for you. It's for the NDI, we actually now support the NDI encoding. So for NDI outputs, and which means you can actually encoding your program outputs as your sources and be picked up by and be decoded or picked up by any NDI endpoint. And right here, okay, let's go to the outputs. and right here you will see the NDI option here. Okay, so you can enable it by switching this to on. Okay? And you got all the options. You got a mainstream and substring, and you can check. You can set the bit rate, the GOP, and the compression format. Right? On my laptop, let's go to NDI tool and open the studio monitor right here. Now it's able to decode the NDI string from my Minimix SDI, and let's pull out my live cam right here and see how well the NDI string responded to the operation I'm doing on my Minimix SDI. Okay, I can switch to different signals, and you can see there's no delay while I'm doing that. Okay, to different sources. Okay, push back. Okay, so that's the NDI outputs, the NDI encoding from my Minimix SDI. You can pick up the NDI sources, get a live view from Minimix SDI. Let's go back to my Minimix SDI. The last thing I want to mention here, the NDI encoding and the decoding function can work simultaneously. Okay? You can see here, I still got my inputs. I have changed my input sources to NDI, while still the NDI output is on live. Okay? The input sources now is NDI in 5. Okay? And meanwhile, I have my NDI encoders working now. Okay? So these two, the encoder and the decoder of NDI can work at the same time with no problems. So that's everything I want to share with you in this videos. We talk about the input capacities. Now the Minimix SDI support SDI inputs, and for the input 5, you got 3 choices: NDI, UVC camera, and the media player. And additionally, the output side now it supports the NDI encoders for additional output channel. Okay, so that's everything. Stay tuned for our channels. In my next videos, we're gonna discover the audio's performance of this new Minimix SDI. Okay? Thank you for watching. As always, subscribe our channels, share and like it, and we're gonna present you with much more contents. Let's keep streaming. Thank you.